So now we are going to reflect an image over an axis line and describe the properties of reflection. We also are going to, so that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to write the rule in words and algebraic rule. For reflection. So those are the two things we're going to be doing. So a reflection is another type of transformation that flips a figure across a line. The line is called line of reflection. Each point on the image is the same distance from the line of reflection. All right, so these are the properties. So you want to write down properties. Remember, this is a good pop quiz, right? The properties of a translation we went over, the properties of a reflection are right here. When you write reflection, you also want to write flip. It is a flip. Just like translation was a slide, this is a flip. It's still the same size, same shape. They are congruent. Different orientation, and that goes for the letter orientation and the physical orientation. And then the parallel lines remain parallel. That is, they spell preserve. P-R-E, preserve. They preserve parallelism. Okay, so parallel lines remain parallel. This is how usually you see it on our test or quiz. Preserve parallelism. Yes. You never know. Characteristics is a good pop quiz. Really good. And by Thursday and Friday, we will have probably all the characteristics of all 4 transformations. All right, so you guys have this, so turn that note sheet over. It's on the back of that note sheet. Okay? Well, you were on the back. All right, it's on the back of the note sheet, so you don't have to write it. We're just going to make some modifications to this. So instead of drawing the line of reflection, we are going to highlight the line of reflection. So if you have a highlighter, I would take it out. And then instead of drawing a perpendicular line from the point, we are counting. So count from the point to the line of reflection. So we're going to count. Reagan? And then we're going to determine the distance. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4 to the line. And then you continue to count to the other side of the line of reflection. So you're going to continue to count. And then you're going to plot the point the same distance away from the line of reflection. And then you're going to label it the point of the image. And remember, these are with the letter prime. and then connect the points. And then repeat. So you take each point and you count how far away is it from the line of reflection. And then just go to the same amount on the other side. So they're not all going to be 3 units away. One can be 3 units, one can be 2 units, one can be 5 units. Right? You've got to count each point. All right, so what does this look like? Oh, let's talk about the algebraic rule first. Somewhere on that paper, I want you to write across the x-axis. When you go across the x-axis, you're going to leave the x alone. The y becomes negative. And then write across the y-axis. When you go across the y-axis, you're going to leave the y alone. So xy becomes, you leave the y alone, and the x becomes negative. So whichever one you're going over, that's the variable you're going to leave alone. The other one becomes negative. And I'll show you why in just a minute. I just wanted to give you the rules. Did you write that down already? Quick. All right. So you have this one on your note sheet, right? So turn it back to the front. On the top of the graph, I want you to write reflection across the y-axis. And then with your highlighter, if you don't have a highlighter, you can darken it with your pencil. I want you to highlight the y-axis. And then you just take each point and you count towards the line. So like the z is 1 away, so you go 1 away on the other side and label it z prime. Then go to another letter. B, 1, 2, 3, 4. So go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the other side. B prime. And then Y is 2 away. 1, 2. And then just go 2 on the other side. Y prime. And then you just connect the points. And that's your reflection. It should still be the same shape, same size. It's just flipped. If you have a parallel lines, you should still have parallel lines. If you have a horizontal or vertical line, you should still have a horizontal or vertical line. Okay? So that's reflection. Pretty straightforward, right? The biggest error is students go over the wrong axis. Sometimes I see students highlight the right axis and still go over the wrong axis. I'm like, you're highlighting so that you like kind of force yourself to go towards that highlight. All right, try this one. Write this reflection across x-axis. I mean, they are your notes, just so that you know what the rule in words looks like. They're going to have it. They will have it. Hold on, let's go back to this one real quick. We forgot to write the algebraic rule. So you would say xy becomes, which axis do we go over? The y, so the y is left alone, the x is negative. Okay, so whichever one you're going over, that's what I was going to do. I was going to show you why. Okay, so let's look at the ordered pair for z. Z is what? 1, 4, right? What's z prime? Negative 1, 4. So see how the x's became their opposite, but the y value stayed the same? Yes. Oh, yeah? All right, so this one you're going over what axis? X. So should have highlighted the X. And you're just counting. If it's 4 away, then you go 4 away. And this is Y prime. This one's 5 away, H prime. And then 5 away, M prime. Now, the biggest thing I see is students don't want to count. They just want to freehand and eyeball it and draw your, draw your figure. And I see it all the time. Y is up here and H is down here. That is incorrect. Because, remember, this is 4 away, so 4 away would be Y. Remember, it's a flip. So, I would recommend on a test or quiz that you just double check the counting. Question? All right, so let's look at the algebraic rule. We went over the X. Hold on. We went over the X, so the X is left alone and it's negative Y. So let's look at the ordered pairs. Let's look at the ordered pairs for M and M prime. M is going to be what? 3, negative 5. And what's M prime? 3, 5. So you see how the X value stayed the same, but the Y value is the opposite. Because remember, the negative means opposite of Y. So if negative 5 was your Y, then the opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. So only your Y value is changing. Question? All right, so if you're going over the X, again, you just count Z prime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Z prime, don't forget your prime marks, 2 away, C prime, and then 4, W prime. Remember, if you have a horizontal or vertical line, like from Z to W, you should still have a horizontal or the vertical line. Any questions? And then which one's negative on your algebraic? Okay, negative Y. All right, question. Why didn't we reflect over there? Because it asked us to reflection across the x-axis. I don't put the directions on there so you don't work ahead. That's why I don't put, these are your directions, right? I don't put them on there because otherwise it won't work ahead. Yeah, I know you guys. So, on the, alrighty, real quick, I'm going to show you one. Don't write this down, or you can, because you have this. So, yeah, well, I told you not to, and I'm changing the directions. See what happens when you work ahead? Okay, what if it said reflection? So you don't have any like this on your homework, but you might in the future. Okay, reflection across x equals 1. So in this case, you would highlight x equals 1, which is right here. And that is your line of reflection. So I count 1, 1. This is where the highlighting really helps. And so this would be x prime. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would be, what is that, an n prime, and then the same. That would be 4, 4 p prime. So this is when, I tell you, when the highlighting really helps. Because you want to, like, you still want to use that axis line. But that's what it looks like if it looked like that. Yes. We'll talk about that if we get to this part, okay? Because I don't want to run out of time. Yes. Huh? All right, and so the question was, what would the algebraic rule look like? We'll discuss that when we get to this. I just wanted to just show one example. All right. In this one, now what are they giving us? They're giving us the algebraic. So write the algebraic. You need to write the rule in words. And where is this? On the second page. So what is the rule in words here? No? No? Oh, thank you. Reflection. Oh, oops. This one. Reflection across the y-axis. Don't forget that important word, reflection. Yes, question. When you're writing the rule in words, this is all you need to write. You don't have to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And when you write the algebraic, this is all you need to write right there. You don't have to say transform to. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. U prime, V prime, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, T prime, and this is 5, and 5. What is that, a W? And again, if you have a horizontal or vertical line, they should remain horizontal or vertical. If your shape isn't the same shape, just flipped, something's wrong. All right, any questions on that one? Okay, next one. You have this one, right? Yep. You're just going to write the rule. So they already transformed it for you. So what axis does this look like it went over? Y. The Y. So this went over the Y, so you would just write reflection across the Y-axis. And which one's negative? X. So there's your algebraic rule. Hey, Reagan, what do you have? Guys, Reagan. What is it? Okay, what about rule in words? See what happens when you go ahead? What does it say? Andrew? Reflection across the x-axis. Have to use that word, reflection. All right. Reflect across, or I'll wait until it's quiet. Also, I'll take over the x-axis is fine. Okay, across or over, I'm fine with those. Okay, Okay, let's look at this one. Write this rule above. So we are going to highlight the Y. Alright, so this one is on the line, so you just label it W prime. Now you're going to be going over in both directions. So if it's on the right, you put it on the left. If it's on the left, you put it on the right. So you still count 2, E prime. This is 1 away, N prime, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, Y prime. Now, sometimes with overlapping, it's hard to see what points to connect. So just go like, it goes WE, so you go W prime, E prime, E to Y. So E prime to Y prime. Y to N, so Y prime to N prime, and then N to W. So N prime to W prime. Okay, so again, on the overlapping, sometimes it gets confusing, sometimes not, but if you're ever concerned, just go back to your original pre-image and say, okay, from WE, and then you connect those points. And then we're going to write the rule, the algebraic rule would be xy becomes what? Negative x, y. Alright, do this one across the y. Alright, so your shape should look like that. And this would be xy becomes what? Negative x, y. Okay? Alright. Now, let me see. They can, we're not going to do this one, I'm going to go on, but they can give you the rule in Word, or in algebraic or in words. It's the same. Okay, so this one, they give you 2 instructions, so I want you to write the first instruction and then the next one. So take a minute to write both of those instructions. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is a translation. So we're going to take each point and go 4 units right, 1 unit down. And we're going to label it with the prime mark. Okay, so this is the first figure. That's a translation. It just slid over and down, right? Now what are we going to do? We're going to reflect my blue figure, my newly transformed figure, over the x-axis. So now we're just going to take the figure in blue and go over that x. We're going to label it with double prime. So now you count 2 away, 2 away, Z double prime. N is 2, 2 away, N double prime. K is 1, 2, 3, so 3 away, K double prime, and then C is 5 away, so 5 away, C double prime. And then connect the point. Okay, so not too bad, right? So that's a double transformation. When you do the double transformation, usually you transform the figure you just drew. All right? Try that one.